Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Who is Who in America on Al Hikmat TV 24/7 online. We are very fortunate to have with us in Al Hikmat studio Sister Saima Faruqi. Welcome to the show, sister.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
It's really a pleasure to have you with us here in Al Hikmat studio, and to let our viewers know out there, and just to let you know, our viewers are very worldwide, east, west, north, south, and nowadays with social media, it just goes all over. So to let our viewers know, Sister Saima Faruqi is a very unique personality here in the United States of America, and she is very much involved in politics. So we're going to hear a lot more. Stay tuned. A lot more from Sister Saima as to what motivated her to get involved in politics in the United States of America.
Join Al Hikmat Dawah services for a 10-day Umrah in Ramadan 2020 from May 2nd to May 12th, 2020. Average cost is $3,000. The group will be led by Shaikh Shafayat. For more details, you can contact Al Hikmat Dawah services at 954-986-0158, or you can email us at alhikmat@alhikmat.com.
In the Quran, in chapter 5, verse 67, Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhar Rasul, balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik, wa in lam taf'al, fama balagta risalatahu. Very deep. Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to spread the message of the Quran. And he told the Prophet, and if you do not spread the message, you did not fulfill the mission of the messenger. So you and I are followers of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we can afford one Quran, help us join in distributing the Quran. So if you can't afford one Quran, do it. $3. 10 Quran, $30. 100 Quran, $300. So, Sister Saima, just to get back with your background, tell us a little bit about your background before we get into what motivated you to get involved in politics.
So, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show. It is my privilege and honor to be on your show. Actually, one of the biggest motivations that I have ever had, and your personality has inspired me when you have this Dawah channel, and there's so much that you do in the community. So thank you so much for all you do for the community. That's one of the inspirations that I had.
Jazakallah, thank you very much.
So my background, I was born and raised in Pakistan. I have 4 other sisters and 1 brother. My father was a banker, like he used to work in a bank, and he has raised all 4 daughters with love and compassion that women, the role of women in the society is basically, if we give good and strong women to the society, we have stronger families out of those personalities. So all my sisters are college graduate, teachers, and pharmacists.
Do they all live here in the United States?
3 out of 4, including me, we live here, and 2 still live back in Pakistan, and both are teachers in school. So
everyone are professionals.
Everyone is a professional.
Fantastic.
And my brother is also a pharmacist, like he works in a pharmaceutical company. So my father has worked hard to raise us and basically give us very good education, so we can be a very strong and positive part of the community, basically. So that's my background.
So how many years now have you been here in the United States?
I've been in United States for 17 years now. I came to United States with my 2 daughters. They were very young when I came here. So it's been 17 years. It's such a long time, it seems like.
Yeah, so did you come straight to Florida or to some other state?
No, I came straight to Florida. Of course, like in New York, and after the immigration, I came to Florida. Because Florida climate is basically very similar to Karachi, so it was not very difficult for me to adjust.
I tell everybody Florida climate is the climate for dawah.
Yes.
For community work, for social activities,
correct.
because there's no extreme.
Yes.
I mean, the heat,
Yes.
that's normal. In every other state, they go through that.
Yes.
We just go through it all the year.
Yes.
But we can do all activities.
All activities.
24/7.
Yes.
I mean, now and then you get a little hurricane here and there, but every other state
Yes.
get
some sort
in that
of
line of hurricane or whatever it may be. So we are blessed to be in Florida, right?
Mashallah, yes.
And you
So
probably
true.
keep your husband very busy with all these movements and traveling all over the place.
Correct. Actually, the
How does he
biggest
handle all of this?
Oh, he is a big supporter. Without his help, I don't think that I would be able to do any of that. So when I come back from work and I'm really tired to go anywhere, he would say, "Oh, you know what? I'll drive you there. You just have to go, and you can just have a little nap on the seat next to me." I said, "Okay." So since he is actually a driving force behind me for everything that I do.
He's a driving force and he drives you around.
It's correct.
So what profession is he in? The business or?
He has a business, and he's also connected with IT. So we both are somehow compatible in profession and
That's
the passion.
fantastic. So you need that IT and you need that business background for the support.
Correct.
So tell us a little bit now, before we get into ACLU and you being the president of ACLU of Broward, right? That's
Correct.
ACLU, and for viewers worldwide to know, it means American Civil Liberty Union. So Sister Saima is also the president of ACLU of Broward, the American Civil Liberty Union. But before we get into that, we want to get a little bit of what motivated you to get involved in politics.
So I'm going to go
And
a
I'm
little
sure
bit.
everyone behind the scene wants to know what party, yeah? But let's see. What motivated you first to begin?
So I'm going to go a little few years behind, like what really motivated me to come and go out and do certain things what I do. And not a lot of people know about this history, that how I actually get involved in this. I was as like normal homemaker wife and working woman, just raising my kids and just doing little volunteer work with the masjid and little work here and there, like maybe PTO at school and not much, but in 2011, my homeowners association really took me to the court and they tried to foreclose on my property unlawfully, and technically, like, they did not have any right to do that.
Right.
Knowing that, okay, maybe she doesn't know anything and they are just like immigrants, they might not know their rights.
What
and
area is this?
It's in Coconut Creek.
Coconut Creek.
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
it's very North Broward.
Right.
So end of Broward. So they took me to the court, tried to foreclose on my property without giving an opportunity of hearing in front of the grievance committee. And I did not know that. When I was summoned, I was shocked that I am up to date on my dues. What kind of a special assessment they're even talking about? I was not aware that what's going on. I called and they said, "Oh, you have 2 fines that we are special assessing against you." And I was very shocked at what is happening. So when I looked into that, I found out that I was up to date on my payments, and I went to get help from almost all the HOA attorneys in town, and everyone said HOAs are so powerful, you better pay those fines and then get off. Otherwise, at the end of the trial, you would be ended up of like racking a huge court bill or court fines or different financial obligations
So
that you
the
might have.
homeowners association just laid down 2 fines, didn't follow up with you directly, and made it a court case.
Correct. So, and I have contacted each and every attorney in the town, and they said HOAs are so powerful, you better just pay them and then get it off.
Wow.
But I think it's against my principles to just take something upon you when it's not really, I cannot accept those fines, which I'm not, if I have been doing something wrong and if I'm on fault, I have no problem taking responsibility. But I am not going to just have somebody just violate my rights like that and then enforce something on me which I'm not supposed to be paying. I had to just become my own attorney because no attorney was in town taking my case. So for 2 years I have to sit in courthouse and read the other cases that how HOA really functions and how other cases were taken off. At the end, when I read my case, I said, okay, the statute says that you are supposed to be getting a hearing in front of the grievance committee before HOA can impose any fines. And I said, where is the grievance committee? My HOA does not even have grievance committee. So how they're going to impose those fines? So when I went to the courthouse and I told them that, okay, I was not given an opportunity and the due process was not followed, then the case was dismissed and HOA was not able to take out a single penny out of me.
Wow.
And
so you became your own lawyer.
Yes, I went pro
se. Your own case.
Correct, for 2 years.
Fantastic.
2 years the case was in the courthouse, but then I started looking at how many homeowners around me would be in the same situation.
Yes.
That they probably would just not think and then they pay, which is not right. Then I started the grievance committee within my HOA, and I served on that grievance committee for 2 years. And a lot of homeowners really took advantage of me being on the grievance committee, that they were not racked up with any fines unlawfully or unnecessary. So I helped them, and then I joined the board because after I was on grievance committee
HOA board?
Yes,
Wow.
So being on the board for being on the grievance committee for 2 years, the board actually invited me to serve on the board, the same board that had taken me to the court.
So it means if they couldn't beat you, they join you.
Correct.
They got you to join them.
Correct.
Yes.
So they invited me to serve on the board, and we had an election, and I got elected as a board member, and I served for 2 years on the board. Then I started looking around that when I got involved with the board, then I got involved with the city, and then then county. So that's how I just started going to different places, and I said, okay, there are so many things that I see a really dire need of like getting involved and see the process, that what's going on and how we can fix that and how can contribute towards those problems and really make a positive
that makes
difference.
a lot of sense. So you saw the need for community services, you were there, you did it.
Correct.
And you saw the importance of someone getting out, and of course those are different associations here and there, but getting involved in the political arena now puts you in making policies that can help people in a bigger field. I mean, that is phenomenal. That is because, I mean, having a lady in hijab, dressed Muslim, getting in politics, that's a little unique, huh?
Correct. So that's when I was on the HOA board, I got a chance to contact Tallahassee, and then I started learning the process, that how those laws are being made, and then that motivated me to run for the office. And in 2018, I ran for Florida State House. Unfortunately, the results were not as I expected.
Yeah, well.
I was a first-time runner, so I didn't really win, but I have learned a lot, and I have gotten a lot of support. That I got 21%. For the first time candidate and running against an incumbent, and I got 21%. So
and a Muslim in hijab,
and a Muslim in
with
hijab.
all the Islamophobia and everything happening here in the United States of America.
Correct.
And you are making and taking that challenge. I mean, that is unique.
Correct. It was a very positive experience. I've learned a lot, and then have
So
seen
Florida State Representative you were going up for.
Correct.
What district?
It's District 96.
District 96. So presently now, what are you going up for?
Right now, I have not announced my campaign.
Okay. So
but
we won't announce
yeah,
it.
yeah. So hopefully, pretty soon, near future,
Good,
I have
good.
intentions to.
Well, that's good to have the viewers and everyone else in suspense. And even the local competitors and those who are out there to challenge, they will all be wondering, what are you going up for?
Yes.
Which area, representative, Florida State, Congress, nobody knows what's going on.
Correct.
That's how it happens down here. So tell us a little bit of your experience there in the political platform.
So.
When I mean experience, I mean, yes, you told me about the experience with your HOA, but you know, some of the things that you really benefited from and you think that people can benefit from by you getting involved in politics, by being a representative, a political representative, if I want to put it like that.
So basically, we have been living in United States for so many years. Like I have seen different families, they have contributed in various different ways. We have doctors, engineers, IT professionals. Like I'm an IT professional as well. So
we didn't say that before.
Okay, so my job, I work for Geek Squad basically. So sorry, I'm a little sidetracked,
what is
but
that?
Geek Squad is a IT company. It's if you go in Best Buy, you would see a kiosk at Best Buy. It's a service department for Best Buy. So the electronics that Best Buy sells, we service those electronics. And we are a service company within Best Buy.
IT Geek Squad.
Geek Squad, correct.
You spell that?
Geek.
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 Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yes. So in 2006, I was the first female hired by Geek Squad in South Florida.
Oh, you're kidding.
As a technician. We didn't really have any female agents at that point, but we had all male dominant area. And when I went there for interview, people were just surprised. They were just looking at me, "Are you applying for a Geek Squad technician?" I said, "Yes." So I actually went to school for business and computer science. So
so you have always been doing unique things, because getting into IT
Correct.
as a lady and getting into Geek Squad and being the first lady IT technician, I mean, it's challenging and it is something new.
it is actually in South Florida. As I said, South Florida market, I was the first CIA, which is a counterintelligence agent. We have our rankings in
With
Geek
Geek
Squad.
Squad.
With Geek Squad, yes.
I like that.
So we have rankings like a squad. So I was the first female they ever hired in South Florida market for technician. It's been 14 years I have been with.
So what do you actually do in that technical world? I mean,
So-
I'm just asking again for viewers to benefit, because I mean, we have a lot of viewers worldwide and they might be sitting somewhere in Japan or China or Pakistan, Bangladesh, the Caribbean. And they're like, wow, the sister in hijab dressed and she's a Geek Squad technician. So what does she really do?
So we, I personally fix all kind of computers, like even building a gaming computer to fixing, replacing the board, the drives, the RAM, anything.
Wow.
So if you just bring the computer and the parts, I can just take out all the guts and put it back together and
Also,
then
you
fix
build
it.
games and everything.
I don't build games, but like the gaming computer.
In the
So
computer,
yes, in
yeah.
the computer, like the hardware part.
Right. Yeah.
And the installation of programs, which is also include the gaming, like installing games and stuff. That's part of the job, and networking, troubleshooting, and fixing. Recently, Best Buy has joined with Apple to fix Apple cell phones. So if you have a cracked screen, if you have to replace the battery on your Apple phone, you take it to Best Buy, and I'm one of the technicians who does that job there. So
that is interesting.
so they
I
made
never
us-
knew that. I've been seeing you around for many years now, but I never knew that you were in.
Yes, I
You're
work
a
for.
technician. So that also tells us why you are so creative and doing, using your initiation to get involved in the homeowners association. Because I just wanted to know, most Muslim women are not like that.
I think my father has raised me like that to break the stereotypes. Like if someone says a woman cannot do it, then my father would just push me. No, you have to do
So
it.
you really did it. You did technician
Correct.
or technical services,
Correct.
politics. You became your own lawyer in the court.
Correct.
I mean, that is unique. And I think, but you should be selling those stories out there. I'm honest, I didn't hear those stories. I didn't read about it, and I think that's important. I mean, that's what Al-Hikmat is all about. I love that. We will promote this. But I think that is so fascinating. A lot of our women out there will be motivated that you were brave enough to stand in court and stand for your rights because you were honest, you were sincere, and it should not have happened. And I mean, you're into the technical world. Not many women into it. I mean, a lot of American women get involved here, there, but not with Muslim women background. They are, but you are from amongst the very few.
Very few. Thank you so much for that compliment, and that actually gives me more motivation to do unique things, so that we can really bring Muslim women profile a little higher. That
Yeah.
we are not really oppressed, and the hijab is no sign of any oppression. Another fact about me that I really have never wore hijab in my life. I was not raised wearing
In
hijab
Pakistan?
in Pakistan.
Oh, wow.
So I recently, like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I started wearing hijab because in this country I felt like when girls were taking hijab off because of out of a fear that they're not secure and they're identified as a special religious group, then I decided to put this hijab on my head as an identity and as a freedom of practicing my religion and my values. So that's how I started wearing hijab like 5 or 6 years ago, when
Wow.
girls were really taking out of hijabs like out of fear. Then I decided to put it on.
Unique because while a lot of people are wearing it because the husband said wear it and the parents said wear it, you wear it because it is necessary to wear and you wanted to have the true Muslim identity.
Correct.
And want it to be thoroughly understood
Correct.
that you are wearing it because of the purpose of wearing the hijab, not because
Correct.
anyone forced you to do it.
No, I felt the spirituality at that point, and then I looked around and I saw why the things are happening in this country where we are free to practice what we want to practice. So it's kind of a sign from Allah, I guess.
Of course, it's a
that
guidance from
guidance
Allah.
from Allah,
It's from
and
the
then
mercy of Allah.
and then
But do
I've-
you know what is very interesting? The hijab really gives you a strength of identity.
correct,
You are more unique
correct,
than the regular numbers out there. I'm not saying for our viewers anyone to feel offended, but with the hijab it creates some more strength and eminence and prominence. And so Allah does not do anything to belittle people and to make things difficult for people.
correct.
And as a sister, you use the opportunity to wear the hijab because Allah says so, and you strongly wanted to do so for the pleasure of Allah and as a Muslim.
Correct.
And that is important because a lot of women do it because they're forced, and if they get the opportunity not to do it, they're the first to take it off.
Correct. And I think that comes in a place where people or women does it on their own volitions and they want to do it. They would see the value and they will see the strength. And I think hijab should not be something that should be forced upon women.
Right.
It should come from
Of course.
inside. So recently we were talking about World Hijabs Day. So I said, yes, I wear hijab, but I also want to show solidarity to the woman. They're forced to wear hijab because it should not be forced upon. It should be, we should be just telling them the value, and when they feel, they will do it. So it goes both ways.
Definitely. No, I mean, that's my strategy and my style or pattern in spreading the message of Islam.
Correct.
And just not to just leave it as mine, I'm just saying I do that because what I have learned in Quran and Sunnah. And I want to say that because a lot of people tell me sometimes that I am too moderate and too liberal. But when I look at the Quran and I look at the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he never beat his kids.
Correct.
He never slapped one of his wives. He was never harsh. He was never hard. He never dictated to people. He never forced people to pray. He never forced people to dress. He never forced people. And he was the person that Allah sent to implement these laws.
Correct.
And if he did not use that methodology, then why should we do that?
Correct.
He encouraged people, he educated people, he motivated people, and they were just running to do it. And you made a good point. In that way, people are more committed when they do things for the pleasure of Allah.
Correct.
And understanding why they do it.
Correct.
You know?
Yes.
So what has happened, sister? We are already 12 on the dot. When I say 12 on the dot, I mean we have been speaking for the past 25 minutes or so. So we're going to go on a short commercial break. When we get back, I would really like you, as the president of ACLU, the American Civil Liberty Union, and I want to make sure I get the name correct, of Broward County, as the president, to share with our viewers how you became the president, what are the activities of this civil liberty organization as a Muslim sister and as a leader. So stay tuned. When we come back, we will hear a little more from Sister Saima Faruqi, her position as president of ACLU in America here, Broward County. And those of you who have just tuned in, you will hear some more of her unique personality, because she had been talking of being in IT, being her own lawyer case, you know, politics, etc. And this is great motivation for Muslim sisters, as well as all our viewers, Muslims and non-Muslims, that a sister in hijab can do these things and make these things happen. Stay tuned. When we come back, we will continue, inshallah.
In the Quran, in chapter 5, verse 67, Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhar Rasul, balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik, wa in lam taf'al, fama balagta risalatahu. Very deep. Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to spread the message of the Quran. And he told the Prophet, and if you do not spread the message, you did not fulfill the mission of the messenger. So you and I are followers of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we can afford one Quran, help us join in distributing the Quran. So if you can't afford one Quran, do it. $3. 10 Quran, $30. 100 Quran, $300.
Join Al Hikmat Dawah services for a 10-day Umrah in Ramadan 2020 from May 2nd to May 12th, 2020. Average cost is $3,000. The group will be led by Shaikh Shafayat. For more details, you can contact Al Hikmat Dawah services at 954-986-0158, or you can email us at alhikmat@alhikmat.com.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Who is Who in America on Al Hikmat TV 24/7 online. And once more, it is indeed a pleasure to have with us in Al Hikmat studio Sister Saima Faruqi. And Sister Saima Faruqi has a very interesting background as a sister in hijab, IT specialist, technician, politics. Very interesting for our sisters there, and brothers, sisters, fathers, husbands, community people. It's very interesting talking to Sister Saima. So Sister Saima, let us know a little bit. We have spoken about your background in the previous conversation before the short commercial break. Tell us about this ACLU, American Civil Liberty Union. How did you become president of this organization, and what does this organization do? We're going to get into that.
So thank you once again for having me on your show. So the ACLU is a world nationwide organization, and we have been around for almost 100 years. We recently celebrated our 100th anniversary. So it's in the years following World War I.
So ACLU is about 100 years old.
It is.
Maybe because we always hear of ACLU in America.
Correct. So the people who really don't know the background of ACLU, so a little history about ACLU, that after years following World War I, America was really gripped out of the fear of communist revolution that happened in Russia. And the fear was that it's going to spread in United States as well. So, and around November 1919 and January 1920, which also called as Palmer Raid era, when Attorney General Mitchell Palmer, he really started raiding and arresting people without giving them any constitutional rights, like arrest without warrants, and without giving them any opportunity of getting out of the situation. And the way those arrested, they were held in worse situations. They're in kind of like in the a small group of people started this organization, and they just took a stand and started this organization to protect the civil liberties of people. And then ACLU have evolved within the years from a small group of people.
Of course, because every time you hear something happening in America, you see ACLU representatives, right?
Correct. So then ACLU has evolved from a small group of people to a largest premier of defending the U.S. Constitution in the United States. And we have about 1.5 million members and 300 staff attorneys and thousands of volunteer attorneys working for ACLU. And they're really working towards protecting our civil liberties day and night. So my involvement in ACLU, I was kind of like a paying member for a little bit, and then in 2016, when the government took over, like the new president came up, then I felt that as a woman, as a Muslim in the United States, as a minority, as an immigrant.
So you were a member of ACLU?
Yes,
How
I was
many
just
years before?
I guess I was maybe a couple of years that I was just a paying member of ACLU. And you don't really have to pay too much to be a member. Like a small donation, a small contribution makes you a card-holding member.
Interesting.
So, and then...
But that was very interesting that you just became a member of ACLU.
Correct.
Because there are a lot of Muslims who are not members of ACLU.
Correct. So it's just like when I look around, as I said, when I was going through my HOA thing, that I looked around and ACLU came up in the list of people that where I can get help.
Yes.
But then I read about them, so I saw that, okay, that's only civil liberties. And of course, my problem is a personal on a HOA level. So they might not be the right channel to go to. But I knew about ACLU in like around 2011 when I was looking around. So, but the work that I read that they do, that really inspired me, and I said, okay, why not just like pay them a little bit, and then and then that's how I started learning about ACLU. But my involvement with ACLU was like going to the meetings and stuff was around when the new government took over, and as a minority woman immigrant, I felt that my rights might be violated in several different ways. And then Muslim ban came up, then I was just...
So you saw more need for civil rights.
Civil rights, correct. So I used to go just attend the meetings and sit there. We used to go to Broward, but then I started talking to different people, and again, the nominating committee, ACLU Broward, really nominated me to run for the board, and
interesting.
I really took that opportunity to run for the board, and I become the board member, I think in 2016 or 17, March 2017. And then being a very effective part of Broward board and Broward chapter, they really nominated me to run for the vice president when we had elections. And they nominated my name, and I ran, and I got elected as vice president.
Interesting.
And then the next year, I didn't even finish my two-year term as vice president. They said, okay, since when the president is absent, you are doing the work, so why don't you just run? So I was nominated again to run for the president. So we have a nominating committee that nominates people to run for different positions.
Right, yeah.
So that's how I become president of ACLU Broward.
That is interesting. So who was the president before?
Alex Johnson was the president before.
Alex Johnson. Interesting. So what are some of the things that ACLU does? Because of the fact that we have a lot of international viewers, we really got a lot of international viewers. So they're probably sitting there somewhere in Africa and in China and Dubai wanting to know, okay, what does this sister do as president of ACLU, American Civil Liberty Union?
So basically, the ACLU works towards protecting the civil rights of people, like constitutional rights, which is freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of practice, freedom of expression. So different than, so whatever that Bill of Rights give us, like ACLU is there to protect.
So ACLU politically now, which party are they more into?
It's a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization, which solely runs on private contributions and member dues, and some grants from individuals and some private organizations. But we don't really get any grants, like government grants or anything. Of course not. You can see.
Definitely.
So it's basically like people-driven organization.
So whichever Republican or Democrat, whichever one comes up with something that does not look nice,
correct,
and does not go down good for people and for the betterment of the citizens in America, ACLU will get on their case.
Correct.
Is that what we're saying?
Correct. I mean, most of the time we're asked the question that the very controversial groups that we have represented and really protected, we not necessarily agree what they stand for or their ideas, but we are there to protect their freedom of expression and basically freedom of speech. There are some groups like KKK, there are some groups like American Nazis, and even a Nation of Islam. So those are the groups, like we might not necessarily agree with them, but we are there to protect their rights if their rights or freedom of speech is infringed. So that's basically ACLU does.
But let's get into a little hot seat to the politics on it now. How does ACLU work with Mr. President Donald Trump?
So
do they get on his case on issues, or is it on the Republican side? What do they do?
So as I said, it's nonpartisan, so we don't really take any part in any political party. But if we see that as immigrant group, like if he's coming out with any kind of ban, any kind of like legislation that is really not in favor of the American citizens, then we of course sue him in the court, and we take him to the court. And there's several cases. I think he is the only president that have sued by ACLU for several times.
You're kidding? Right
Yes,
now,
right
President
now.
Trump has been sued by ACLU?
Not like, I won't say him, but like his policies, basically,
lot
that
of
the cases are in the court.
Where it affects
the civil liberties. And
civil liberty rights sort of thing. What about President Obama?
I can't really
I suppose it'll be the same thing. If
of course.
Someone from the Democratic Party does something that affects civil rights,
rights.
then they will
Correct.
because that's what they stand for.
Correct. So as I said, it's nonpartisan, so we don't really see the president belongs to which party. If there's something needs to be addressed, ACLU would definitely have addressed.
And the members of ACLU, they agree on that.
Correct.
That even if it's a party that they belong to, they stand for what is right.
Correct.
And what is better for civil liberty.
Correct. We have members from both sides. We even have members like independent. So without any party affiliation or anything, we have members all across. So.
I think because to do civil liberty rights activities, you gotta belong to both parties.
Correct.
You cannot be one-sided. It will just not work because the people that you are technically serving, they will be from different parties.
Correct.
Yeah, interesting. So what else would you like to share with our viewers? We have 5 minutes or so to wrap up the program.
So I just would like to say that when I actually want to request my viewers that whenever anyone sees something that is not right, I would say raise their voice without thinking that it's not their issue. It's not. So if I stand for any kind of issue that if I see different communities that have been affected, I don't really care that I'm Muslim and I belong to a certain group or whatever. If someone's right is infringed, like I have to raise my voice. So I would really request people to, when they see something, please raise their voice. Please say the right thing is right and wrong is wrong, and nothing is above the law. So if we just uphold the Constitution and then really give people rights and freedom of speech and what they really want to practice, let them do it regardless whatever group they belong to. So it's just a request that whenever people see something, just say something and really just stand with people they really need help.
As long as it's done professionally within the law.
Correct.
And proper procedure.
Correct.
You know, because some people just go around doing things, I mean, wild, and they get nowhere. They cannot achieve anything. They cannot accomplish anything.
Correct.
But, I mean, if you do it professionally and within the rights of the law of the land, I think you're all okay, right?
Correct.
And that's what we're saying, that you need to stand for the rights of people, not only for yourself.
Correct. And as a Muslim, that what I believe is that because I am in this country by my choice, then I have to abide by the law of the land.
Yes.
So the law of the land is the supreme supreme law, which is the Constitution. So I have to abide by that. If people have given rights according to the Constitution, then we have to uphold that, and we have to help them really get their rights out there.
So that's what you call Hukukul Ibad, rights of the people.
Correct.
And that is really nice as a sister. I mean, Allah bless you, and may Allah continue to bless you. And of course, we can't forget your husband and children, who are your major support.
Of course,
and backbone and all these things, because as a lady, as a sister, I know it takes a lot of time. It could be very stressful. It can be a big headache at times to be running into all these programs and activities and social services. I mean, that takes a lot.
Correct.
It's really commendable. Allah bless you, and you are really unique. I cannot forget does everyone know about you and your IT background?
Not a lot of people know, but when I go to the meetings in my uniform after, because I carry a badge, which is an agent badge, which really looks like an FBI or like a services badge. It says Geek Squad badge. It says Agent Faruqi. So when I wear my badge and go in my uniform after my work, if I'm getting late to be in the meeting, then people, oh, you work for Geek Squad. And then people are very surprised that as a woman, hijabi, and I'm working in that field. So it really gives me a sense of accomplishment, and then really motivation that we can do anything if we want to.
So do you do programs for sisters and young girls and students, etc.?
So we did a couple programs in our, like in the local mosque at MJM. And that was basically for anyone, mostly for senior citizens, to know the cell phone, how to use the smartphone, and how to protect their data like from online activities and unauthorized access, and how to protect their privacy on their cell phones. So I did a couple of programs like trainings at the local mosque, and I went there and I just taught the.
That's nice. No, that's fantastic, because I'm thinking if you only start repairing phones, you'll have so many broken phones with their glass broken.
Correct.
I don't understand why every second phone, the screen is broken.
That's how
Bad
company
management.
makes. Yeah, that's how company makes money.
And
Like if
that's
they
how
would
they-
just make something very durable, who's gonna buy a new phone?
And then
So-
nobody will have a job, right?
Nobody would have a job.
I like
So
that.
everyone
I like
have to
that.
make money, but there are so many things out there to protect your cell phones,
Of
like
course,
cases and
of
stuff.
course, yeah.
And then of course you get a protection plan, and then it's fixed.
Yes,
So
yes. But I think as we conclude, you are very ideal to do motivational speeches to sisters especially. Sisters especially, I mean, community, yes, but a lot of our sisters might be wondering, where am I heading? What should I do? Should I go into business? Should I become a doctor? Should I become a lawyer? Should I become... A lot of them are just duplicating.
Correct.
And are getting frustrated. And then, boom, they get married, and that's the end of all their career.
Correct.
So it might be very energizing for some of these sisters and mothers that in the community, that you can start motivating people with your background and what got you involved in ACLU, Geek Squad, fighting your own HOA, Home Owners Association case in court, running for state representative, and you still have it as a secret what you plan to run for, right?
yes.
So you must think about that, not just the Geek Squad thing. I think you should start doing career motivational speeches to our youngsters in some of the schools and mosques, and I will have to do some recommendation for that.
Sure. Thank you so much for that.
I will pass the message on to some of the people to invite you to do that, inshallah.
I really didn't have much television or camera exposure, but the people who know me in the community, especially girls, I do have talks with them, and I tell them that, kind of like to motivate them privately, that we can do whatever we want to do, and we live in a wonderful country where our rights are really protected, and we are protected here to do whatever we want to do. So we are really in a dreamland here. So it's a wonderful country that I am very blessed to be in, and of course my family and my kids and my husband's and my father's support, it is really a blessing for me.
And that's why we enjoy doing this show, on Al Hikmat TV, who is who in America. We talk to people like you, global issues, we talk on controversial issues or educational issues, interfaith issues, my journey to Islam, because I think that we can use social media. We can use social media as we sit here. We can get this message out to thousands of people throughout the world.
Right.
And you never can tell whose heart you would have created an impact on, and they'll be motivated to do something good, better, for the pleasure of Allah and for humanity and the community.
Correct.
Yes, sister, so you got a couple seconds.
So I think that's the best dawah that we can do, that we can just really tell them with our own practices that what we believe in and what we stand for, and that's the best dawah, I guess, that people do. They know me, they know how I go, even at work. It's been so many years that people know, and they know about my religion now. They ask me questions, and that's how I am able to educate them and what we believe in. I think that's the best dawah in my own head, on my own way. But thank you so much for having me on your show.
welcome.
It is my privilege and honor to be here, and then again to express and tell people what I really do. I think not a lot of people know too much about me.
I didn't know. All I knew that you were involved in politics.
Yes.
I had no clue about your IT background and your homeowner association. And really, Sister Saima, I think that will be very motivational for other people. Good line of dawah, because it's huququllah,
Correct.
rights of Allah spiritually, but then huququl ibad of people, and that's what you can create a great impact in the hearts of people as a Muslim and involved in all these community activities, because especially in the sisters world in Islam, it's like a closed shop. It's still like a closed shop. A lot of people still have their different thoughts and ideologies. So we need more sisters like you.
Just one more thing I would like to add, that as I said, I'm blessed to have a very supportive father, that how he raised me, and then I have a very supportive husband. So I really would like to request our brothers in the community that when the sisters, they're trying to do something and they have some kind of passion and motivation, please support. If your wife, sister, daughter, if they really want to do something, please support them, and I'm pretty sure that they will make a huge impact on the community. And if they would just be comfortable and motivated what they want to do, of course we're going to bring like a strong community out there. So I just request my brothers out there to please support your wives, sisters, and daughters if they want to do something. And of course, within the means, not like something awkward, but of course,
within
like within the laws and within
the Sharia,
within the
bounds.
Yes,
We're
within
not
the
saying
boundaries.
they're going to do anything crazy. Yeah.
Yes, so that's the special request from me to my brothers in the community.
Definitely. Well, thank you very much again. Thank you, Jazakallah, for being on the show, Who is Who in America, on Al Hikmat TV. And to our viewers out there, Jazakallah, thank you very much for viewing Who is Who in America on Al Hikmat TV 24/7 online. And again, those of you who have just tuned in, you can look at this show back on Facebook, on YouTube, on different networks. It has been a pleasure and a privilege to have with us in Al Hikmat studio today Sister Saima Faruqi, who is the president of ACLU of Broward County, the American Civil Liberty Union. She's a Geek Squad technician. So I know someone I'm going to contact for my technological advice now, inshallah.
Correct.
And in the political field, a community person, and it has been a blessing to have her with us in Al Hikmat studio. Stay tuned 24/7 to Al Hikmat TV. Thank you very much for being a wonderful audience. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
In the Quran, in chapter 5, verse 67, Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhar Rasul, balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik, wa illam taf'al, fama balagta risalatahu. Very deep. Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to spread the message of the Quran. And he told the Prophet, and if you do not spread the message, you did not fulfill the mission of the messenger. So you and I are followers of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we can afford one Quran, help us join in distributing the Quran. So if you can't afford one Quran, do it. $3. 10 Quran, $30. 100 Quran, $300.
Join Al Hikmat Dawah services for a 10-day Umrah in Ramadan 2020 from May 2nd to May 12th, 2020. Average cost is $3,000. The group will be led by Shaikh Shafayat. For more details, you can contact Al Hikmat Dawah services at 954-986-0158, or you can email us at alhikmat@alhikmat.com.
Praises are due to Allahu Allah. All praises are due to Allahu Allah. Allahu 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 Allah. Allahu.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. If you would like to dedicate copies of one of these publications as Sadaqah Jariyah, continuous blessings for your parents or dear ones who have passed away, or fi sabilillah, in the path of Allah, please give us a call so we can place your names on these dedicated publications. You can call us at 954-986-0158, or you can also visit us at www.alhikmat.com.
Allah is the creator of different faces. Allah is the creator of all races. Allahu, 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 Allah.
Royal Bengal Trading, importer, exporter, wholesaler of Bangladeshi Indo-Pak groceries and spices. We specialize in various authentic Indian masalas, juices, flours, rices, and spices. We offer exclusive brands as Ocean Pearl, Shan, National, Tilda, Himani, and many, many more. We're located at 36B Coroni Savannah Road, Charleville, Chaguanas, Trinidad and Tobago. You can call us at 473-4676 or call 476-3117. Email us at wahabdk@gmail.com.
Fens, the single largest specialty retailer of residential and office furniture, consumer electronics, home appliances, and household items in Trinidad and Tobago. At Fens, we offer a large selection of high-quality products, honest and reliable service. We are passionate about serving you, and we're proud of the standard of excellence upheld by our knowledgeable staff, friendly delivery teams, and dedicated customer care associates. Visit Fens First, your friendly furniture, appliance, and electronic dealer since 1960.
In the Quran, in chapter 5, verse 67, Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhar Rasul, balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik, wa illam taf'al, fama balagta risalatahu. Very deep. Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to spread the message of the Quran. And he told the Prophet, and if you do not spread the message, you did not fulfill the mission of the messenger. So you and I are followers of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we can afford one Quran, help us join in distributing the Quran. So if you can't afford one Quran, do it. $3. 10 Quran, $30. 100 Quran, $300.
Join Al-Hikmat Dawah services for a 10-day Umrah in Ramadan 2020 from May 2nd to May 12th, 2020. Average cost is $3,000. The group will be led by Shaikh Shafayat. For more details, you can contact Al-Hikmat Dawah services at 954-986-0158 or you can email us at alhikmat@alhikmat.com.
Looking for a residential or real estate investment? Unit 1 is a 3-bedroom unfurnished townhouse gated community located in Charleville, Chaguanas, Central Trinidad, 1.5 million TT dollars. 2 Tobago townhouses for sale. Gated compound, being sold furnished, 3 minutes from the airport, and many more. Price listing 1.5 million TT for both units. For more details, contact Sister Fadia Ali at 868-672-4062. 868-672-4062.
सदक़े में आका सारे जहां को दीन मिला बेदीनों ने कलमा पढ़ा ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह तेरे सदक़े में आका सारे जहां को दीन मिला बेदीनों ने कलमा
Truly he is the one, he has no father.